Welcome to the Stats Daily Podcast. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. And thank you guys for subscribing. We're blessed enough to have John Crouch on. How are you doing tonight, man?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm surviving, man. Surviving.
Aren't we all?
Definitely, brother. Definitely. Who inspired you to do music, man?
Well, so I started listening to bluegrass music from an early age. I want to say I was maybe, well, I don't know, as far back as I can remember, honestly. And my earliest memories were driving up the road with my dad in the truck, listening to cassette tapes of bluegrass music. And I would say, so I grew up on the Eastern Shore of Maryland, and I was born in Salisbury, which is a pretty good sized city now, but I actually lived about 10 miles from the nearest town, I think. I want to say it's close to 10 miles. And so it was a pretty good run up to the city. I'd say it was about a 20 or 30-minute drive, probably, to get to most of the areas up in the city. So uh, my earliest memories were driving up the road listening to bluegrass music. And my dad used to listen to a bluegrass gospel show out of Washington, D.C. on Sunday mornings. And so I remember listening to that. And I was always just interested in music. I remember I got a little toy guitar at a young age. And I didn't know much about playing it at the time. But my dad played a little bit of guitar. He showed me, some chords and a few things. And I remember listening to a lot of bluegrass music, and I grew up on a lot of gospel, Southern gospel, bluegrass, some country, and but I got really interested in playing music. I'd say when I was about 12, I got really interested in properly learning the guitar, and I had a neighbor who lived down the road from me that played in church, and I got to give him a lot of credit to um, really getting me into playing guitar. Um, he kind of helped me along, and he was a fan of bluegrass music as well. So he showed me some new chords and helped me learn how to use them. And I remember I'd go hang out at his house, and he'd show me some stuff on the guitar, and then I'd come home and practice. And I had a oh, I actually grew up in a house with one bedroom. I actually had to share the same bedroom with my parents till I was probably about 13 when I moved out here to Indiana. And so I would go in the bedroom there and practice guitar until it was time for everybody to go to bed. And then, of course, I'd have to give it up for the night because my parents were coming in to go to sleep. And but then when I was about 16, I think, I've been also watching some bluegrass shows on TV. You used to watch RFD TV a lot. And there was a show on there called Reno's Old Time Music. Ronnie Reno was um, a bluegrass TV show host, and he'd have guest bands in there and all. And for some reason, I felt really drawn to the mandolin, and I I'd never even been around that much like live bluegrass music before, but I started really wanting to learn how to play the mandolin, and so I kind of begged my parents for a mandolin. And one year, I think it was on my 16th birthday, I finally got my first mandolin, and it was a cheap one because my parents thought it'd be something I'd just kind of play around with and give up. But I actually ended up practicing for a couple hours a day, and by the time I was 18, I joined my first bluegrass band. So I got to give a lot of credit to my parents, and a lot of people have helped me along the way. And really, it was watching a lot of videos and TV and thinking, man, I wish I could do that. So, yeah, the rest is history.
And you've actually toured like nationwide, haven't you?
I've toured well, I can't say just locally because I've toured between several different states. I've played in Maryland when I go back. I also play some country music on the side. I'm a singer songwriter. I've written a little collection of songs. I've actually got 4 of them out so far on streaming platforms under John Crouch, JONCROUCH. Um, but I've played myself when I go back to Maryland. You know, my family set me up with some opportunities. Um, I've played a lot around Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, a little bit in Tennessee. I've played a few shows in Michigan, Illinois, played a show in Virginia last year, um, up in the Clinch Mountains, the Ralph Stanley Festival. That's a pretty special festival in the bluegrass music world. So I was blessed enough to be able to play that. But yeah, I've played a lot around Indiana and Ohio and Kentucky. So I don't know if you say I'm a national touring artist, but over several states at least.
Pretty much are.
Yeah, it's nice.
What's that?
I said that's nice to think.
I mean, you played in Michigan, man. Played in Michigan,
Yeah.
Ohio, Indiana, Virginia, Kentucky,
Hmm.
uh, Maryland, Tennessee. Uh,
Yeah. It's
that's a lot of states, man.
yeah, it's been a good journey, and I think even more coming up this year. So
You said Illinois too, my bad.
yeah, yeah, I played a few shows up near Chicago. So it's it's a very different music scene up there. I will say, you know, some good people up there, and a lot of them they love music up there, but it's a lot different scene, especially in the bluegrass music um, world. You know, it's the bluegrass music up there tends to be a little different from what I'm used to. A little more contemporary bluegrass, kind of mixed with other types of music. But it was definitely a good time up there.
Yeah. As we know, where I live is the bluegrass capital, pretty much.
Hmm. And yeah, I've also played some shows down. I played one in Clay City, Kentucky, and Shriners Bluegrass Festival down there. I I know I should know off the top of my head, but I have to look again and see what the nearest town is. But Shriners Bluegrass Festival, um, we're playing that again this year in July. Um, so yeah, that's going to be a good time getting to go down there again. But I love getting to play down there in Kentucky and Tennessee, and it's a really nice area. I always love getting to play down there.
Beautiful, man. It's a beautiful area, honestly. And they love bluegrass music, man.
Oh yeah, that's what I love about it. There's some areas I've been to, especially I don't know what it is. I don't know if every musician struggles with this, but getting recognized in your hometown and appreciated is always the hardest. And I don't know if it's just because I live here, but I've played a lot of dead shows around here. Like I live in Liberty, Indiana. I've played a lot around Connorsville, over to. I played a lot in the Indianapolis area lately because the guy I play with, um, Carl Bentley, lives around the Indianapolis area, and the other guys in the band, one of them lives near Indianapolis, one of them lives in Muncie, and then I live all the way over here near the Ohio border. I live about probably 10 minutes from Ohio. Um, but yeah, it's really nice, especially getting to play down like Kentucky and stuff, because people really do appreciate bluegrass music down there. And around here, like, I mean, we got some good fans around here, but I feel like a lot of shows we've played around here um, are not quite as alive, maybe I should say, as some of the ones I've played in other states. Michigan, I was surprised how on fire people were for bluegrass music up there. Like we had a young, enthusiastic audience up there. A lot of the times, at least a couple of times I played up there, the weather wasn't the greatest, um, which it may have turned out even better if the weather was better. But some of the states I played in, especially I would have to say Michigan and Kentucky are probably the best states I've played in as far as the audience. So yeah, people do really appreciate bluegrass music around there.
They definitely do, man. We have a lot of bluegrass festivals around here.
Hmm. Yeah, I also played at the Kentucky Opry over in Benton, Kentucky. That's uh, all the way over near, well, in the very western part of Kentucky. I want to say it's kind of over, not too far from the land between the lakes, because I really wanted to stop in there. I kind of drove by there on the way, but it seems like a really interesting place. And but yeah, we actually played down there last year, and I think we're scheduled again this year. I'll have to look and see what the date is. I want to say it's June 6th, if I'm not mistaken. I think we're playing at the Kentucky Opry again in Benton. So that was a great audience down there. I'm really looking forward to that again.
Yeah, I've heard of that place, man.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, man, there's some big crowds over there.
Hmm. Yeah. So when we played at the Kentucky Opry, uh, they have a bluegrass night every Friday night. And the next night, Saturday night, uh, the Kentucky Headhunters were playing there, and I've always loved Kentucky Headhunters, and I thought, man, it would be awesome get to stay an extra day and get to watch the Kentucky Headhunters, but we didn't we didn't make enough money to get a hotel room to stay an extra day, so we ended up having to come back that night. But it was still really cool getting to say that we played on the same stage as Kentucky Headhunters were playing the next night. So I listen to all kinds of music, by the way. I like rock and roll. I listen to some hard rock, country, blues, Americana. I listen to a lot, but country and bluegrass are kind of where my heart is as far as playing. So, but I love the Kentucky Headhunters, and that was awesome.
And Kentucky has a lot of talent.
Oh yeah, yeah, a lot of good country music singers and bands and bluegrass and and then you got like the Kentucky Headhunters too. But yeah, it's Kentucky's an awesome state as far as music. You got so many different kinds of music. Everybody from Ricky Skaggs to Keith Whitley to Chris Stapleton, Tyler Childers. Uh, you got a lot of great people came out of Kentucky.
We got some guy from London right now. He's on The Voice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we had some dude from Louisa. He won the American Idol a few years back.
Was that Alex Miller?
Uh,
Oh, guy. Uh, Alex Miller is awesome. He's from somewhere in Kentucky. He's from somewhere around. I should know. I want to say Berea,
I'm not
but
sure. That's not the guy that won the American Idol. I forget his name.
I don't. Yeah, I don't remember for sure. I have to look that up. But the guy that you said is on there now, I actually haven't heard about. I have to check that out.
I'm not sure either. I just seen it on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm about to look that up after we get off of here. I gotta find out. That's really awesome. If he's from down that area, he's probably got a lot of talent.
Yeah, we do have a lot of talent down here, man. Have some people have not even heard yet, anyways. But they will hear them one day for sure, because we got too much talent around here. I mean, you're saying Tyler Childers, like you said, Chris Stapleton. I mean, obviously Keith Whitley is probably the goat.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I almost wonder some of these people like Keith Whitley, it was sad what happened to him. I gotta wonder like just how much he would have done if he hadn't have, did what he did. And, you know, unfortunately, his life ended, I think, far too early. And he wrote a lot of great songs, in his time, but man, and Hank Williams, same thing. He unfortunately passed away at 29, and within his lifetime, he wrote like over 200 songs. And man, it's just incredible, to think what these people could have done, if they did have longer. But you know, their legacy lives on. I mean, I do their songs all the time now. I just put a Keith Whitley song on TikTok the other day. I've been trying to kind of work on my TikTok and get more followers. And um, I did one of Keith Whitley songs the other day. Don't Close Your Eyes. It's one of the last ones I put on TikTok, I think. So yeah, he had some great songs, and him and Ricky Skaggs were actually good friends. They played in Ralph Stanley's bluegrass band together. A lot of people might not know Keith Whitley actually started out in bluegrass music, and but he joined Ralph Stanley's band, the Clinch Mountain Boys, along with his best friend Ricky Skaggs, before both of them eventually end up going out on solo careers. But yeah, Keith Whitley had a lot of talent, and like I say, Eastern Kentucky, I mean, there's all kinds of talent coming out of there. There's another guy named Cole Chaney that I think is a really underrated country singer now. He's kind of in the same category as Tyler Childers, but kind of somewhere in between country and bluegrass. He used a lot of bluegrass instruments in his songs, but I'm not sure why. I mean, he's popular, but like he's really good. I
His
mean,
name sounds familiar.
yeah, yeah, I'd say check him out if you haven't heard him already. He's pretty good. If you like bluegrass music and country music, you will like Cole Chaney. I
Yeah,
actually see him in concert. He was in Hamilton sometime last year, and I got to meet him. But yeah, he's a. I'm trying to remember where exactly he's from. I want to say Elliott County. I might be mistaken. I'm pretty sure he's from Elliott County. So yeah, he's another one from down in that area. Got a lot of talent.
that's true, man. That's true. We got Halfway to Hazard is actually from my county,
Oh yeah, that's awesome. And what county do you live in?
not county, man.
Not county. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure I drove through your area coming back from Virginia.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah. So I've also heard rumor a lot. So I'm kind of known in the bluegrass world, kind of. I mean, I'm not a big celebrity or anything, but you know, I'm sort of known as a musician and stuff. But um, so I hear that you're also into the Bigfoot phenomenon, and so
Yes, sir. What about you, man?
yeah. So besides music, I also kind of developed an interest in a lot of strange phenomena, when I was a teenager, especially. And I think from that time, I started kind of researching it. I I can't say I've got a lot of experiences myself, but I'll share, a few I do have. I've been into like UFOs, and I was really interested in like the UFO government connection and stuff, the Roswell crash and stuff like that. And but Bigfoot, I also got pretty interested in, and I think for me when I was a teenager, especially, I felt like about anything that there was no like known explanation for, I just had to learn all I could about. So like started out with UFOs and Bigfoot, and then um, like there's a lot of so-called cryptid creatures, that people claim to see. Some of them might just be legends, but stuff like Bigfoot that I think, there's been thousands of sightings worldwide. And the thing that gets me about like the Bigfoot phenomenon is like thousands of years ago, or at least hundreds that we know, the Native Americans had their legends about so-called Sasquatch, whatever. And at that same time, and even later, people in like the Himalayan mountains in Asia were reporting like, a similar creature. I think the it's called the Yeti over there, whatever, but like it was a similar creature in that, is kind of supposedly half man, half ape. Um, the Yeti, they say, is a little bigger, more aggressive, maybe. Um, the native people of Alaska also had similar legends. The a lot of the people in the like all over the United States, the indigenous people reported sightings of such creatures. And there's even a rumor that Leif Erikson, the famous Viking that first explored America, as far as we know, also had an encounter with such creatures. I think he wrote something about that in his journal about encountering some kind of like red haired giants when he came to this, whatever land it was. I want to say it was Newfoundland, maybe. I want to say it was somewhere up north. I should know history a little better than I do, I guess. I'm trying to remember where it was that they figured out he landed. But so yeah, with all those people, and then of course modern people still reporting, so-called Bigfoot, people that a lot of them never believed in such a thing before. They were skeptical of that. Um, have been reporting, such a creature that just happens to align pretty closely with what, the Native Americans reported, all over the country, what the people in the Himalayas reported. So I feel like when there's that many people that say they see something, there's probably something to it.
Definitely, man. There's actually a lot of sightings up where you live at.
I have heard that. So Ohio, I want to say, is like the fifth highest state for sightings in the country. Um, right here in my area, I haven't heard a whole lot of stories or had a whole lot of uh, really what I would consider encounters or evidence or anything. Uh, there is one area of Indiana that I know is kind of a hotbed. It seems like, and it's like Yellowwood State Forest and Morgan Monroe State Forest over in the central part of the state. Um, there's a bluegrass festival over in that area, by the way, Bean Blossom. It's the oldest running bluegrass festival in the country. I got to play that last year too. But actually, right over in that area is supposed to be kind of a hotbed. And I actually went with a friend over to Yellowwood State Forest one time, and he's a kind of a local Bigfoot researcher. He goes and hangs out there, and I did see some kind of uh, I'll say some unusual things out there. Um, there were some tree structures and stuff that I took pictures of. Um, I can share them with you if you want. I'll have to dig through my photos and find them. But there was some trees out in the forest that had been like kind of um, I don't know
But
if you would say they were broken off or
like
uprooted.
a Bigfoot nest type thing.
I I'm not sure if it was a nest. I think it might be some kind of signal or something, but it's basically where these trees have been like either broken off or uprooted and stacked in like a teepee shape.
Oh,
And
that's definitely a nest then.
yeah, and some of them, there were some that were like put in like X patterns. And there was one I think I took a picture of. It was like a really large um, tree limb, I think, and it was dead, so it had been there a while. But it was like um, kind of stuck in the ground, like it wasn't growing there. It had been like placed there, and it was like leaning. I want to say in like an X pattern with another like tree. I think I have a picture of it somewhere.
Was there like bush inside of it?
Now this was literally just like a straight tree branch, pretty much.
Yeah. That could have been a signal to hey, don't come closer.
Yeah, it could have been. Now, so I had actually just bought a thermal imager, and I got I mean, thermal imagers aren't cheap, but mine was
No.
a lower end thermal imager. It's still about $600, but that's cheap for a thermal imager. Uh, but I brought my thermal imager out there, and my buddy out there had his parabolic reflector microphone, to listen for sounds off in the distance. And he actually, uh, we were out there like after dark. We found a little, pull off area in Yellowwood, and so we stopped there, and I got my thermal out, and um, he got his parabolic out, was like listening. He was like, kind of making some noises, talking a little bit, trying to kind of keep their attention if there was anything out there. And I think a little while into our stand out there, um, it was, I want to say maybe 10 to 11 o'clock. And I saw, looked like something on the thermal imager, so I couldn't really tell what it was. It was kind of behind some bushes and stuff. There was actually it was out in the middle of nowhere. There was like a gravel road that went down through there, just like an unpaved road. And there was our little pull off area where we were parked. And we were looking into the woods across the road. And I think there was maybe like a little bit of a hill. And there was, like some bushes and, shrubs and stuff in there. And I could see there was something behind it. I couldn't tell. I thought, it could have been a deer or whatever. But he was pointing his parabolic microphone over there. And all of a sudden, I heard something like crashing through the woods, like whatever it was got up and was moving through the woods. And he said through his parabolic, he heard it making he said it almost sounded like a gibberish talk, like actual, like kind of like a human voice. And I didn't have the headphones on, so I couldn't really hear that. I did hear it. I did hear something moving through the woods, but from what he told me, it was really interesting. That could be the time I came closest to having a Bigfoot encounter. But I wish I had more firsthand encounters to share. But that's pretty much what I've had as far as Bigfoot.
Yeah, it sounds like it was communicating possibly with other Bigfoots.
Yeah, that is possible. Um, this guy had told me that he had had encounters out there before. Um, I think he's been going out there for a number of years. This was actually, I want to say, about 4 or 5 years ago, probably. And I know he's had some encounters out there, and um, I've heard a number of other reports from that area. So I think like Yellowwood and Morgan Monroe State Forest is kind of a hot spot.
Does he do podcasts or?
I I believe he might. He does. He has a YouTube channel. I haven't even got his permission to share. I guess he'd be okay with me advertising his YouTube channel. I'm just gonna throw it out there, and if I'll just say I was advertising for him. His name's Matt McGuire, and his YouTube channel I think is called Bigfooting Indiana. So,
I think I know who that is actually.
oh, you do know him?
I think so. Yeah, I think I got him on Facebook.
Yeah,
Little Bigfoot in Indiana. I think I got that.
yeah, Big
There's
Indiana.
a
That's his YouTube channel. So yeah, I think I'm actually on there somewhere. I don't remember where, but sometime after or one of those times, I've gone out with him a couple of times, I think. But one of those times, I think we were actually talking about it on his YouTube channel. So I might be on there somewhere. I can't remember. But yeah, he's a good guy, and I enjoyed hanging out and Bigfooting with him. So,
watching. Yeah.
yeah, squatching.
Yeah, I think I actually got that on Facebook, Bigfoot in Indiana. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
I've never had him on podcast, but I think I
Okay.
do know who that is. Yeah.
I think there was somebody else. I think in the Bigfooting, Indiana, that did have a podcast, but I can't remember what his name was. Um, but yeah, everybody check out Bigfooting, Indiana if you're interested in that kind of stuff, and especially in the central Indiana area. He does a lot around Yellowwood, Morgan Monroe State Forest in that area. Hoosier National Forest, I think, is over there too. But I think he's covered a lot of ground in that area, and he's definitely got some good stories to tell.
For sure, man. Definitely appreciate you sharing them stories, man.
Yeah, definitely.
And you have an instrument with you right now?
Yes, I do. Let me step aside just a second and grab it.
Oh, you're good, man.
So this is my new to me Martin guitar. So I actually just bought this today, and I hope it's still in tune. So yeah, this is a Martin D35, and I've been in bluegrass music for about 10 years. Well, no, over 10 years now. I started playing in a band uh, about 10 years ago, and but I feel like everybody in bluegrass owns a Martin guitar, but I never have. I had a Blue Ridge, which is an awesome guitar, a little cheaper, but Martin is just a standard, and so this is my first one. So let me see. I aim to be the first country musician to write a song about the Bigfoot phenomenon. It's not done yet. I'm not sharing any more about it. I have a song in the works, but I can't really share many more details about it. But I aim to be the first country musician to do a song about Bigfoot. But so let me see. I'm gonna do. Let's see. I had to come up with an original song to do here. This was a song I wrote kind of recently. And this is called Tomorrow's Good Old Days. He was sitting on a bar stool telling of the days gone by. In the diner over coffee as I sat by his side. He said a driving was $1, but the love was worth much more. Nickel bought an ice cold Pepsi at the Old Town General Store. His hair had turned to silver and his face had shown the years. As he told about his childhood, you could see a trace of tears. I said I'd give it all to go back in time and see. The old man looked down at the counter, then looked up and said to me, as we reminisce about the old times, take the time to look around on your way. Remember as you go and live each moment away. You're in tomorrow's good old days. That I once was a young man, I've seen my better days. But the time moves by so quickly, now I'm feeling all the age. Someday you'll tell your children about the time you're in today. You'll be smiling at the memories from before your hair turned gray. As I left, I paid the waitress, and I turned and shook his hand. Still thinking about the wisdom that I learned from that old man. Each moment is a memory you'll never see again. Someday you'll be longing to return to the time you now are in. And as we reminisce about the old time, take the time to look around you on your way. Remember as you go and live each moment away. You're in tomorrow's good old days. Remember as you go and live each moment away. You're in tomorrow's good old days. That's one of the latest.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you performing.
Oh, no problem. My pleasure.
And I appreciate you being on.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to this. I remember what I was doing yesterday. Uh, I think I was looking something up, and I got your message asking if I could be on your podcast. I'm like, that'll be awesome. Gives me a chance to play a little music for somebody and get to know your audience, or let your audience get to know me. Hopefully, they can connect with me on social media and get to know them. Like I said, I'm trying to grow my TikTok. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everything. Got 4 songs out on streaming. So yeah, glad your audience can get to know me, and hopefully I can get to know them.
Definitely, man. Send me a link for your TikTok, or
Okay,
like
sure.
you can send me a
Will.
link for your Facebook page too.
Okay. Yeah, I know I'm friends with you on Facebook, and I also got uh, I got a musician page that you can like and follow, where I post a lot of my music videos. So I am hopefully going to be having an album coming out sometime. Um, I've been a little busier than I expected to be this winter. I thought this winter was going to be kind of a break, and I just, be going to the studio, about every other week and try to knock out an album. Um, I've got one of the songs that I was going to have on it. I've got released as a single called "The Fire Burns On," and but I'm hoping to do a whole album sometime. I was hoping to have it done by the spring, but sometime I'll have an album out. So be watching for that. And like I said, follow me on social media and be able to see when it comes out.
Definitely, man. And I want to appreciate John Crouch for being on. Everybody have a good night and God bless.